things are changing. They're changing fast. So if you're Adam Schiff, you're getting a little bit nervous right about now. I mean, you know that, well, there's some concern about his mortgages, as the president has articulated before. You see, he had 2 primary residence, which you can't actually have in the banking world, okay? That would mean that you lied on one of your financial documents.
You're a developer, very successful developer. How does a family afford to live in a 1-bedroom apartment?
No, it looks like Adam Schiff really did a bad thing. They have him. Now, let's see what happens. It's not up to me. It's not up to, I stay out of it purposely. But it's mortgage loan fraud. It's a big deal. He defrauded banks and insurance companies and the federal government. But it's very simple. It's mortgage loan fraud. And you're right. It's a lot of people to live in a 1-bedroom apartment, right? But he put it down. But he has a lot of other things far worse than that. So, no, Adam Schiff, they have him 100% on mortgage fraud. Now, if there's anybody else in this room except you would have no problem. But anybody else in this room, you'd have a problem. I'd have a problem.
Of course, because you can't actually have a couple of primary residences. And just for the record, take a look here. What primary residence means in lending, it's the residence that you live in, okay? So you can't have 2 of them. You can have a second home, and that's a secondary mortgage, a secondary loan. That's kind of like the vacation home. You have the primary home, and then, hey, if you get an income property, that's something else. Letitia, I'm looking at you, right? You can't have a primary home in Virginia when you live in New York, and you can't have a secondary home in Virginia that you're then using as a rental property, which you then listed on another set of documents as a rental property, so an income property. Those all come with sort of different rates because they involve different sets of risks. So poor Adam Schiff, he's out there saying, well, not poor, I don't actually feel bad for him. He may be very poor when this is all said and done. I don't feel bad for him at all. I mean, and don't sit there and tell me you didn't know, buddy. I mean, for goodness sakes, you're a lawyer. You're now a senator. I'm assuming there's like some brain cells. I mean, I realize they're limited, but you got something going on upstairs. You at least ought to have people around you, advisors that are smart enough that you shouldn't be signing on to 2 primary loan documents. I mean, who the heck does that? So if this is all true, and this is what is being alleged, and FHFA and Bill Pulte have all come forward and said this is what we see. So if this is the case, wow, Adam, I don't know what to tell you, buddy, but you know, you're up one creek without a paddle and you're looking at federal prison.
They have committed massive political crime. I hope they're looking at Shifty Schiff. I hope they're looking at all these people. And I'm allowed to find out. I'm allowed to, you know, I'm in theory the chief law enforcement officer. But I have a very good, talented group. This is about something else, but I hope they're looking at political crime because there's never been so much political crime against a political opponent as what I had to go through. They raided my house in Florida. It was an illegal raid. They raided illegally my house in Florida, Mar-a-Lago. They went through the drawers of my young son. They went through all of the cabinets and drawers of the First Lady. She walked in, she said, wow, what happened? Because she's very meticulous, and this wasn't so meticulous. As she looked into the drawers and she saw everything a mess. What they did against a person that just got out of office. And then you look at these corrupt people. You look at Hunter Biden. You look at the signature. As an example, the auto pen. I just signed so many different things.
Okay, so
I'm signing them left and right. The commission.
He's got a lot in there. He's talking about what Shifty Schiff did, right, with the indictments. He's talking about what happened at Mar-a-Lago with the raid on his home. Well, by the way, Biden had them for years, intentionally had them, knew he had them. And, they were just all in the garage next to his Corvette, as he was fond of saying. Anyway, and then you think about Russia. I mean, it goes on and on and on. The level of perceived corruption, and I'm just going to say corruption because we know certain things, right? We know about the Russia stuff. We know that Tulsi Gabbard said that Barack Obama gathered everyone into his office in December before the handover of power because they were so horrified that Donald Trump won. How could that be, right? So they decided to go with this opposition research that Hillary Clinton's campaign had paid for via Perkins Coie. And they went with that. And they created an entire narrative to the point where James Comey, who's now been indicted, was calling up his Columbia University law professor friend, the guy who was on the payroll as a consultant for the FBI, and he he told him the whole thing so that he would go out and plant the story in a mainstream media newspaper, where they're not asking any questions. And the next thing you know, you get a special investigator, a special prosecutor, all into the Russia thing. I mean, it's really kind of unbelievable. And now they want to turn around and say, oh, we knew he was going to do this. He's just trying to tear the system apart. He's akin to, I saw signs that said Germany 1939. That just made me just so disgusted. He's akin to Hitler. Are you kidding me? Somebody who slaughtered 5 million Jews? I mean, you actually want to say that about Donald Trump? Are you kidding me? I mean, do you have any idea how disrespectful that is to the world? I mean, here's a man who comes along and says, hey, let's enforce the law, let's enforce the border, which actually the Democrats wanted to do until he came about. And suddenly he's being equated with one of the most horrific, demonic figures in history. Are you kidding me? But this is the only hand they have to play, you see, because it's all coming out. And so this is what Adam Schiff was saying. He was warning, oh, he's going to do this, that, and the other. You bet he is, Adam. Sorry, Shifty Shift.
He can't do the job. He won't protect the public. He will misuse the resources of the Bureau. He will weaponize it against the president's political opponents rather than protecting the public safety of the American people.
I'm sorry. You're the one who is stupid enough to go out and allegedly get 2 primary residences. You can't do it, Adam. It doesn't work that way, for goodness sakes. There's a price to pay for mortgage fraud. Alleged. Shall we say? We'll see, because I expect that indictment any day now coming out of Maryland. Meanwhile, again, they're saying what they're saying. Oh, this is just a weaponization of the government. No, it's not. You want to talk about who weaponized the government? We know who weaponized the government. Oh, yeah, we know.
What about the other names that Donald Trump listed off yesterday in the Oval Office?
Yeah, look, all of those people, we know that there are some investigations already ongoing, but Donald Trump has made very clear that he is directing his Justice Department to investigate his enemies. I mean, he made it clear in a Truth Social post, which is reportedly was intended to be a private message to his Attorney General. And we're seeing evidence of it all over the place, of career prosecutors under pressure to bring cases, whether there is merit or not. That is, as the senator said, that is a crisis of democracy. That's something we've never seen before. And the Justice Department historically has been independent. It doesn't appear that it's independent right now. And as Donald Trump himself said, he's the chief law enforcement officer. He said he hasn't been involved in these cases, but the evidence suggests if he's not involved, people close to him at the White House are certainly driving this train, Kate.
All right, Ken Delanian, thank you.
Again, what do they think happened?